Yeah, welcome back to the channel, you guys. Welcome back to Ironclad RC. This is part 4 of our fast electric RC boat build series. Today we're going to be working on battery trays, and we're also going to be modifying hardware to fit the transom. Possibly going to go ahead and drill out all of our holes, so stick around. 99.9999999% prep, 0.1% install. You'll thank me. So yeah. I've got my battery trays made up. I wanted to kind of go over them real quick, and then I'm going to kind of fast forward through how I got to this point right here. But they're fiberglass, all right, with gel coat finish. I had a piece of glass that I waxed up. I laid out some tooling gel coat, which is a wax-free gel coat, and then I laminated fiberglass on top of the gel coat and then peeled it off of the glass. I'll show you in just a second. But they come out pretty good. 1.5 ounces. All that weighs 1.5 ounces. And I'm going to be working on my servo mount. I'm kind of torn between two. I'll go over that in just a minute too. But let's take a look at how I got the fiberglass sheets made. All right. The battery tray and servo mount layup is all dried. We're going to actually scrape it off of the glass here. I'm excited to see how it looks on the other side. Always fun to scrape this laminate off, you know, and see how it looks. It's like pulling a mold almost. So let's see how it turned out. All I did was wax it. Boom. Nice. That's gonna look pretty good. Too technical and fancy with it, but that's gonna serve our purpose. That's what we need it for, just a little battery tray. To slit or not to slit? That is the question. Yeah, D-U-N, done. Yeah. Those battery trays turned out good. The slits look pretty good. They look pretty uniform, I guess. The ESC tray, let's see what it weighs here. All three of them, 1.5 ounces. All right. And yeah. So now we're going to start modifying the rudder and start drilling some holes. This video is going to be long. I know it's long. I'm sorry, you guys. It's hard to fit all this stuff into like a little 5-minute video. So you can fast forward it, you know, rewind it, whatever. But yeah, stick around. All right, so I got my connector on my servo here. You see the connector I got on there? All right. And now that's actually, I didn't think about that in a previous video. So that's actually moved my servo geometry out. It was without that connector, it was like right in here. Okay, now it's right there. All right, so now I can modify my rudder. We're going to go out and do this in a minute. Cut all the red off. All right, leave the 2 top screws on both sides. All right, that's going to clear this trim tab. and it's going to give me enough room for my steering geometry. You see that? Barely. You see? We'll have plenty of room on the transom now. Oh yeah. So yeah, that's going to look good. It's going to give us all the clearance we need, clear our trim tabs, our turn fins, and give us enough room for our steering geometry. The next thing on the agenda is to start drilling some holes. We've got our rudder bracket notched out. Our trim tab is going to clear it. It's going to give us plenty of room to clear it. I've already checked that. So I'm going to start laying out some holes, because the way I have the servo mount in here, I want to drill the holes for my hardware, alright? And then I'll epoxy my servo mount into the boat. I want to make sure my servo mount is in a prime location so I can get to my hardware later on if needed. So I don't want to block any of my screw or nuts off with my servo mount. This is what I like to use setting up my holes for my boat, is a adjustable ruler and a filler gauge. All right, these two tools are invaluable setting up a boat. All right, well, 3 tools really, if you want to get technical. This flex driver right here, I've got 2 or 3 of them. I got short ones, long ones, but yeah, that is nice to have. All right, I think I got you the best view. I think I got you the best view of the transom. Now, I think I'm going to start mounting or drawing out the holes for my turn fins first. You want to make sure your turn fin is 90 degrees to the dead rise on your boat, 90 degrees to the bottom of your boat. All right, you use like an adjustable ruler, or like kind of like a speed square type deal. Fin on the inside of your spray rail right here, that spray rail, that chine looking rail right there, that's called a spray rail. You want it on the inside or in line with that spray rail. Really on the inside's best. Make sure the base isn't too deep into the water that it's going to create any drag. So like right in there, about 3 or 4 millimeters up, and then you'll be able to adjust your turn fin according. All right. So let's go ahead and get that marked out. I'm gonna have to take my rudder off. Before I take my rudder off, I've already marked out where the rudder is going to be at. I'll just kind of draw like a rough line here for reference, so I don't impede into the mounting surface for my rudder. All right, so let's go ahead and take this guy off. So basically, these turn fins, the bracket, is going to keep your turn fin straight with the boat. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be mounted like this unless you go too heavy with your adhesive when you install it, and it kind of cocks it out or in. Like in line with this pencil seam is a good reference point when you're setting up your lines. Use your seam, make sure everything's in line with the seam there. Alright, so in line with the seam, I'm going to make my mark. Alright, let's do the same thing for this side. Alright, this little side right here, I usually use the smaller side to get how high my trim tabs or turn fin's going to be on the transom. So yeah, that's a good height right there. So I'm going to mark off this height. Okay, same thing to this side, all the way up to my spray rail as far as I can get it. Alright, I'm going to line up the bottom of my turn fin with this line right here. Alright, put a little bit of this sticky putty on my mount, and that's just going to aid it so it doesn't move around on me when I'm holding it up here to get my template drawn out. Alright, so you see it's on the inside of that spray rail. See right there. Alright, that's my rudder linkage in between the orange and the blue there, so that's going to look good. See that sticky putty? It really helps. Really helps setting up a boat. See if our marks showed up, and they did. Yep. Mark the holes out for our rudder. I want it as high as I possibly can get it so my trim tab will clear. Really hate drilling that close to the seam, but this rudder will kick up. So what I use to check my work when I'm laying out rudders and stuff, I'll use a ruler and I'll put it on top of my boat. Hopefully, you know, some boats won't allow you to, but that's in line with my seam. So I can take my adjustable ruler and check my work. You know what I mean? Alright, that looks good. Double check them. And what I like to use for that, you can use your feeler gauge. And this is what I do to check my work. Once I laid out these turn fins, I'll use my feeler gauge and I'll get it right on the edge right here and go to the hole. Alright, and then I'll go on the edge over here, right on the edge, and go to my hole. So it looks like the same distance from the outside of the boat, so that's good. Also, you use your feeler gauge to check the width of your holes. Alright, so let's check this turn fin. We'll get it right dead center. Alright, then you put it on the boat and just check the width of your future holes. Make sure they're going to be lined up and they look like they are. Alright, now let's check our trim tabs. I think I got them where they need to be. I think. Alright, so I go right to the corner, right there on the corner, okay? On the outside of that spray rail. Right on the corner, and I'm going to go to the corner of my trim tab. Right on the dead corner, right on the edge of my trim tab. Let's see if it's the same distance on this side. Alright, and it is, okay. So now our trim tabs, you don't want your trim tabs to be lower than the bottom of your boat. Set them like a millimeter higher than the bottom of your boat. Alright, and that'll give you a little room for error too, you know. So let's check it. Okay, see that straight edge? And that'll tell you where the bottom of your boat is for your trim tabs. Alright, I want mine about a millimeter higher than the bottom of the boat. Alright, it's a little bit too high. Oh, there goes my motor. I'm going to lightly mark them. I'm going to pull them off. I'm going to use my adjustable ruler to scribe a line. Right here. Alright. So let's see how far it is to the center of the hole on our trim tab. Alright, so I've got it centered about 1 millimeter higher than center. Okay. So whenever I set it on the boat 1 millimeter higher than center, that'll lift my trim tab up off the bottom about 1 millimeter. Alright. This is just how I do it. There's other ways to do it, probably more technical ways of doing things. This is just how I do it. Once we drill the holes, it's smooth sailing after that. The hardest part is laying down all the groundwork, you know, laying out all your holes, make sure everything's gonna fit. I'm waiting till last to do the strut. I'm gonna drill the hole for the stuffing tube because I don't have anything around this to prevent me. So yeah, we're gonna do that later on because I want to modify this bad boy. You know that feeling you get when you're about to drill a hole in the bottom of your boat? Well, I got that feeling. Now, I've actually double checked everything with my adjustable ruler, my filler gauge. Alright, I've also used my scribe to draw out some lines, make sure everything's on point, because this boat's actually, this side's a little bit lower than this side. The ride pad, it's actually kind of like offset by about maybe 1 or 2 millimeters. It's kind of odd, but and this top, where these notches are right here on the top side, it's actually offset to the right a little bit. I'll talk about that later. I'm gonna go ahead and start drilling the holes. I got everything prepped up, so let's get it. Boom! Got all the holes drilled, got everything tacked up there temporarily. Yeah, we got plenty of room for the steering linkage. I can even throw a boot on it, huh? Yeah. Oh, I'm stoked. Oh, what we got going on in the inside here? Oh, okay. Just a little glimpse of the next episode, huh? Look at that mount I made, huh? Yeah, look at the servo mount. Boom! Gel coated. Looks good. 1.6 ounces of extra weight with the battery tray and ESC tray, huh? Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna epoxy this in the boat next time. Servo mount, motor mount. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Big B here with Ironclad RC, channel where we tinker, test, and blow stuff up. We'll see you guys next time.